I am at one with the Force. Whoops. Uh-oh. Star Wars The Last Jedi is directed by Rian Johnson, stars Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Adam Driver, Mark Hamill, the late great Carrie Fisher, and many, many more. And this movie takes place just after this one, The Force Awakens. We join Rey back on the island with Luke Skywalker, trying to get him to join back with the Rebel Alliance to try and defeat the First Order. And as always in Star Wars movies, they got to defeat the bad guys. Now, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, have been all of my life, can thank my father for that one. And I was really, really looking forward to this. I go to the cinema a lot. I say this a lot in my reviews, but I go to the cinema a lot. I see a lot of trailers. I tried not to see this one, but you just can't get away from it. There was a lot of hype behind it, so of course I was looking forward to this one. Now, when going into a Star Wars movie, you know exactly what you're going in for. Good versus bad. Dark side against the light side. And even though the trailer seemed to trick me, bastards! And this is a little bit of a spoiler here, but it doesn't really seem to break that formula. That's not a bad thing, of course it's not. You know what you get with Star Wars, but that doesn't mean, unfortunately, that I don't have some problems with it. I'm usually one for nattering, but I'm going to get straight to the point with this one, because it did disappoint me that the movie had extreme issues with its tone. It seemed rather messy at times. It just sort of tried to add humour in parts that it didn't need to. It seemed to try and rush things along, or it didn't seem to really answer questions as well as you thought it might do. It's really odd. I went in wanting to love the movie, but I just couldn't get around this, especially the humour thing. There'd be a huge expositional scene or something that was really important, and then they'd add a BB-8 joke or an obvious way to try and sell toys with that weird bloody pelican penguin hybridy rabbit thing. There was these obvious parts where they just add them in when you think, oh, really serious right now, and then BB-8 just sort of swings in and it's like the whole R2-D2 scream straight across the screen. I loved it. It was funny. People behind me were all giggling, etc. But when you're looking into a Star Wars movie, that this one has a lot of weight to it compared to a lot of movies, but this one just seemed to use humour way too much. Now, I can't really understand the hate behind a lot of this film, but I can sort of understand a lot of reviews that I've seen and read that do talk about it's just tonal issues at times. It's a real shame, because the trailers really did put you into this really intense, the whole film was going to be intense, but a lot of it really didn't seem that tense to me. That being said, I will get to the good parts. You know, I love Star Wars and I still loved this movie. I loved the CGI. It is yet again impeccable. It looks beautiful. It really does. It doesn't ever detract away from the 70s originals. It still seems to borrow from that, but it is absolutely polished to perfection in this movie. They've also brought puppets back. I can't give away one puppet for very specific spoilery reasons, but if you want to watch some spoiler specials, go and watch some other YouTubers, because I'm not like that. I'm a decent guy. Honestly, I am, but skip this part if you don't want to know. It's Yoda, it's Yoda, it's Yoda, it's Yoda. It's Yoda. I was too excited not to put it in the video. It's Yoda. Of course, I think all of the characters and the actors playing them are perfect. I love Poe, Rey, I love Finn, I love all of them, I really do. I think I prefer The Force Awakens. I think that movie introduced a lot of things into a universe stuffed full of lore. I really think it introduced an entire new generation into Star Wars. I really think that it really, really helped revitalise it. It's not taken away from the 70s versions, it's introduced these new characters into it. That movie really is the superior for me. If I was going to compare this one to any of the others, because obviously everyone has compared The Force Awakens to A New Hope, calling it A New Hope 2. I've got a lot of friends that do that. but if I was going to compare anything to this one, I would have to say it would be Attack of the Clones. Now, don't hate me, it's nowhere near as bad as this. I don't even know why I own it, but you know, I do think it's because it's a very much a middle of the road film. It is there only really to get you into the third one. As far as I can really put my thoughts down to, I really do think it is there to explain everything later on. Only reason it's attached to Attack of the Clones, in no way is it because it's bad, because that being said, guys, this decision was really tough for me to make. It really was, probably the hardest one I've had to make all year, but I am going to give Star Wars The Last Jedi a 3.5 out of 5. Now, I went into the movie with a 4 in mind, but I really couldn't do that. A lot of the issues for me really did detract away that score. It's a real shame, but I loved it. I do recommend it. I really do, but just think of it as that middle film explaining everything you need to know for the next one. That is my advice. So there you have it, guys. There is my take on The Last Jedi. Now, if you have seen the movie, please let me know. As always, I would love to know in the comments down below. Now, before you leave me, do not forget to press that subscribe button. Follow me on all the socials. You'll know the drill. And may the force be with you always, and I'll see you all in the next video.